4 winner bracket matches, so that is tomorrow. I was just thinking the upper bracket first.
The VGVP.
Yeah, VGVP is also going to be very close, I think. But one game at a time, right?
Yes. Yes. We start here, game 1. Of course, it is the full best of 3, so you can kind of feel it a little bit in EG's draft. Like when you see the Bane first pick up, it kind of feels like that safety kind of controller. But Vega, like they get a lot of space during this drafting phase to do kind of whatever they really want to. Like, you've got yourself the great team fight. Like, it's the ultimate Vega lineup when you think about it. You got all your initiation, you got your quick burst damage, you got amplification, so if you do take a fight, you can jump into Roshan nice and quick. And then you've got the split part of it through both Ancient Apparition as well as through your Ember Spirit. So I was worried how EG will deal with it. And this Nyx Assassin, it kind of feels like EG will put all their eggs in one basket right now. We find early kills, we find that mid-game power point, and then this Ven does terrible, terrible damage to bring down Vega. That seems to be like the very one-dimensional kind of way they can approach this game.
Nyx is one of the really good heroes at catching Ember off guard when he's split pushing though. In Vendetta you can use the Spike Carapace next to the Flame Guard. So you stun him with Spike Carapace first, then you Vendetta hit, then you Impale and follow up with Mana Burn. So it's a different kind of Ember game this time I think for Pasha, and if he's not used to playing against Nyx Assassin, you need to a little bit rethink how you split push against this hero. Whenever Nyx is off the map, you're never really certain. But we need to get there first, and I think the early game for me is a really defining factor in this game. I think EG shouldn't even be satisfied with just a draw in the early game. I think this is one of those you have to kind of win.
Yep. Well, they're going to try and win the mid lane by going for the dual lane, but it's up on top where Mag, being initiated on, it's only going to be pushing him out of the lane while PPD, she's not going for the burst heal kind of combo, he goes instead for the poison touch attack. And Mag already has to burn through one salve, but he came prepared. He's still got another salve and 4 tangos plus the stout shield. He's ready just to try and sit up here and leech as much experience as possible.
And now he needs to be careful. I think, of course, Arteezy sitting on this Mango could try to go for the stun sometime soon. If PPD gets Poison Touch off cooldown again before Mag has full health, they're going to kill him. 3 seconds. He has to go back again.
Yeah.
He's getting very little out of this lane.
He understands the position. He can't take the risk. How's that middle lane looking? Because the Queen of Pain right now, no one, you expect him to have some level of momentum, but Fear has spent a lot of time making sure that no one is shut down. The analysts are asking these questions as well. Do you have to control him? Is this almost like what happened to Sumail when he first came onto the scene? Everyone's like, oh, we can't deal with this guy. You commit an extra support. You make sure you win him the mid lane. Because right now it's 9-4 against 1-0, the CS in the mid lane in favor of Sumail.
Yeah, and at the same time, the trade-off for Vega hasn't actually even been that good. The Ember Spirit bottom is losing quite a lot of CS under his tower. The supports are getting a couple of pulls off, but not really posing much threat on the map. They don't have any Smoke of Deceit to gank with. Tusk is only level 1. He gets Bounty, now he's level 2, so maybe that's going to open up for something. But this is very, very good for EG just in the first 2 minutes, I think.
Yeah. Man, they gotta feel so comfortable. No one's now burned through every bit of his consumable. There's no life regen, there's no mana regen, there's no bottle. So how is he meant to approach this lane? And what is Vega even meant to do? Like, is this when you're meant to be looking at the Tuskar, for example? Like, he's been farming up and just pulling inside the Radiant jungle for the last bit. But you also know EG's ward they put inside this jungle. It doesn't block the camps, but it watches the rotation instead. So they understand when more are going to come over. Oh, and in fact, Fear, he knows what's coming at him. And this will probably be first blood. Sima gave him the bonus damage over in solo, while Sumail is rotating himself in. Gets a stun over on no one. Maybe 2 more hits will do the damage to Snowball, keeping Sumail out. And the shards actually lock him in. EG, this is not the dream. With a live strike array, the tower attack. Sumail can't regenerate fast enough. It's Vega taking 2 kills here to kick it off.
And that was right after you said that EG actually placed this ward to give them information. They still got caught off guard, just Fear playing way too aggressively there. Of course, it's very tempting when you know how much you're shutting down the Queen of Pain that you just want to keep going, but this one mistake has basically put Vega, I don't want to say back in the game, because can you really say you're that far behind minute 2? But I guess they're on even footing now. Yeah. With these 2 kills they found.
It levels at the middle, like balances out the middle lane a little bit more, because they were losing a lot on CS. And the fact that, like, if it was just Fear dying, then maybe it wouldn't have been as bad. But Sumail tried to come in and save Fear by going for that extra stun on the Queen of Pain, but no one read the situation perfectly, and you really start to feel the control that comes out from the Tuskar. That shard lock-in, once you commit like that, there's no escaping for the Lina. Like, you know that's always your problem as well. The panel were flagging it, saying, like, how are you meant to get that lean around? She's really susceptible to mid ganks, and then you go underneath the Vega tier 1 tower.
Well, Sumail is still crushing mid even after that happened, because of course no one didn't really benefit that much from it. He got a little bit of time to get maybe 1 or 2 CS, but then Sumail is back in the lane and dominating him once again. But I think things are going to change slightly now that he's getting his bottle. He can try to, of course, just scream out the waves and secure himself some CS that way. They're also stacking the camps for him a little bit. And that could be a way for him to find some much needed farm.
Alright, so at this point of the game, Ancient Apparition is going to be given a little bit of space in the bottom lane, but it's top lane where Mag, with the Stormbolt, Mag was just trying to come in and contest him. He got denied! The neutral creep, the Shadow Blast actually ends up taking him out. Oh, EG, they really needed that and wanted that kill, but they'll be able to find, well, actually lose on the bottom lane. Universe's Nyx Assassin getting caught out. So it's 3-0 in favor of Vega. Like we said, EG's draft needed a really good start to this. Even the neutrals are against EG right now.
It's just a matter of time before you do catch this Nyx Assassin off guard in the bottom lane. You can't... An offlane Nyx on the Dire without any points in Spike Carapace is very, very susceptible to any rotation in from the Tuscan. I think even if he has Carapace, he probably dies there. He gets caught by chains, a follow-up stun into shards. That hero just doesn't have tools to deal with it.
It's kind of funny considering most of the ways the Nyx Assassin's been approached in this major is running him as a safe lane while there's an aggressive dual lane, so you get that early level 6 and then rotate it out. I think it was Team Secret who were the ones that were flagging that kind of approach to him. So you have this under-leveled Nyx, you're 6 minutes in. The heavy CS, however, on Arteezy as well as Sumail, like these are the two flash players for EG. They can still do some serious work into this mid-game. And the Queen of Pain still not finding more CS. Like, no one's back in the lane, but he's just not finding enough. Sumail still out-leveling him. After this creep wave goes down, then no one's also going to be very careful about that Laguna Blade from Sumail.
Well, the thing is, when you look at the experience overall between the two heroes in mid, usually if one hero has 35 to 14 and the other has 13-2, you're like a full level or a level and a half ahead. And Sumail is only half a level ahead. That's the result of the ganks, of course. So even though he's behind on farm on the Queen of Pain, the important thing for no one is to secure level 6, and then one key kill can really change things a lot. Oh, missed the crush.
Sumail doesn't even know he's doing it. But he forces the crush out from Mag as Mag feels that Sumail's coming up. So he just went for it. Doesn't end up happening. Sumail was actually waiting for PBD to TP in so he can get a full bottle charge and now take out this triple stack sitting inside the jungle. So Sumail already ahead, as you said though, like he could have been more ahead in experience, but with this stack, it's just going to skyrocket him up and get this early control, getting that Yule Scepter, making it difficult for an Ember Spirit, losing his Flame Guard early on. The Queen of Pain is looking for the sweet timings, maybe not so sweet, and then the Slaughter sprints his way forward. Very easy to try and control. So Sumail getting everything he's really searching for.
The dangerous thing in this game for Lina compared to a lot of other games where you see her get Yules is that there are so many ways she can actually die in one stun. Like you don't even, if you don't react fast enough to a snowball coming in or to when the Slaughter gets a Blink Dagger, the Yules doesn't really provide that much utility just from the raw amount of burst they can output. It's still a valuable item, and I still think he should get it here, of course, so that he can try to play aggressively, but the defensive aspect of the item isn't really that good in this game. You can counter maybe the chains, but apart from that, the rest is just mad bursts and stuns.
So should the rest of EG be looking to get aggressive? Like, because I'm looking at Arteezy sitting on 1,400 gold right now, and if they want to play defensive, if they want to play as a reaction to Vega when they attack, is this almost that Hand of Midas game coming in from this Ven? Or should he be looking towards Blink Dagger or something else?
I'm thinking with his current skill build that he is considering prioritizing fighting a bit more than farming. Very farm-oriented Svens will level up Great Cleave, at least over Warcry. But I think EG's read on the game is that they will be forced to fight. So if Arteezy goes for Midas, I'm pretty sure it's going to backfire in this case. Yeah, okay, it's going to be more than likely a BKB here. That was another good first choice against all those disables we talked about earlier.
That's a lot of strength to work with. So now you're going to have that increase in armor. He's got the 2 points up in Warcry, as you said, so Slaughter still hasn't cracked level 6, so there's no amplification kicking in. So a lot of life, a lot of armor behind EG, and Universe is about to crack, in fact now has his level 6, so Vendetta is online for this Nyx Assassin. So Vega's going to be a little bit more careful about Well, one, where their vision is, and where their invis detection is, where those sentry walls will be placed. And two, whenever Universe leaves that bottom lane, they have to be aware of where he's going. But what have they got? They got like one observer ward watching over at the Ancient Stack, and they got one watching the top river area. But there's no sentries coupled with this, so they won't see that instant rotation of the Nyx.
And it is mainly Pasha that should be worried about rotations. Of course, Universe is probably not looking for him right now, but go forward 5 minutes in this game. Whenever Nyx is off the map +1 support, he can't really farm lane with Flame Guard like you used to. So it's tricky, but for now, I think Universe has other plans. At least it looks like it.
No, he's coming up to Mag on the top lane.
Mag's
coming in from the
so
front. He's not coming in from behind.
He could have actually tried to pincer him in there.
Yeah.
Of course, the Vendetta now with a very long duration on level 1. The old Vendetta would have expired by now.
Yep.
But Universe still has some time to play around with here to have a look at least.
He doesn't find anything.
No.
Like, he sees Seema in the mid lane, but that's where your sentry wall's been placed. So Seema is expecting the Nyx Assassin to attack, and in fact, Universe does get scouted out here. Gets attacked once and then realizes there's a sentry ward. Probably wasn't, they didn't have to do that. But either way.
Yep, it's level 6 for the AA as well. So Ice Blast is now available. And we shouldn't underestimate the global potential of having an Ember Spirit. Oh, he's actually not going Boots of Travel this game. He went for Treads. So not as much, but still good initiation range. Of course, Ember Spirit can always catch from very far away. Snowball can come through, and then you have the Ice Blast. So nowhere on the map is really that safe for EG.
It's kind of a weird choice to do, though, when you understand. Well, yeah, actually, as you previously mentioned, Universe is really great at catching him out. So why invest the money into that, try and fight earlier on, which is what Vega are trying to do. They blink forward, so Fear should die here. He's got his Nightmare available, and, well, Warcry's going to arrive, but the Sonic Wave doing too much. No one. Blink is still on cooldown for now with the Nightmare on Seema. They couldn't escape out this too quickly, and with Sumail rotating over, he can get controlled up by Mag, but they've already found one. Snowball's going to arrive, and with the Ember Spirit, now your damage comes in. All the Spirits from Pasha. It's easy to Shallow Grace, letting him fight a little bit longer, but he's losing his heroes. 4 down for Evil Geniuses. Universe can't do anything, and Vega, they brought everything, including the kitchen sink, to beat the crap out of EG.
Yeah, it's such a big fight for them. I think EG up until this point were, yeah, they were marginally leading. It's been a very even game so far, but getting this momentum for Vega Squadron is so important, especially having Slaughter be a little bit involved, because Mag has been so has been so hard shut down this game that he is, even after that fight, still 1,500 gold away from a Blink Dagger minute 12. So just any sort of assist gold for him is crucial, and they got a great fight out of that.
Yeah, that they did, and EG, they need to try and find a wind, and how are they going to do this? By switching the lanes up. They send TC down the bottom lane. It looks like it'll actually be an S and Y build coming out from this Ven, and that gives Fear a little bit of space on top. He does have the Fiend's Grip available now. Also note too, when that fight began, that Sumail really wasn't prepared for it. He didn't have the mana pool. They didn't get Laguna Blade off, which would have been that quick pick move onto another target. So EG were really not ready for Vega's timing. It's almost one of those questions where, should you just cut your losses? Now they are ready to fight. Universe moves forward. He sees Mag, Seema, no one. Who do you want to go on first? He goes over on Seema, trying to keep this Ice Blast out. Fear keeping Mag controlled. The Shallow Grave will keep Dazzle alive as they do take a 2-for-1 trade-off. The one being PBD, who now shatters, but Arteezy locked in. That Snowball. It makes an eerie, fiery death as you're locked in with the Ice Shards as well as those Searing Chains. And maybe they find more. Fear trying to escape. He can't brain zap in time. And Vega really making the most of this early game advantage they've got. It's not the greatest trade, but you lose what? Slaughter, who's already underleveled, as well as an Ancient Apparition, and you keep claiming cores.
And I think in that situation, EG, it's very understandable that they're moving as close as they are under the smoke, but I think it was a mistake that they were as close as they were, because Universe actually scouted them in Vendetta, and they didn't have detection, I think, at the point when he engaged. So the moment Dazzle pops out of smoke, they know Universe is there, and they immediately split out their hero so he couldn't find the Impale he was looking for. Oh, speaking of looking for something, we get Mag.
This is that cheap and easy kill that EG is able to get now. They got that Yule Scepter up for Sumail. But again, it's on this Ven, who's the 4th lowest net worth on the field. They're not finding the cause.
I'm so happy to see this build on Ember Spirit. I feel like so many of the games we see people just go for Boots of Travel every single time, and then they try to fight, But this is the Fighting Ember Spirit build. Treads into Drum, gives you so many stats right now, minute 14. He's a very tanky Ember Spirit. This is usually a state in the game where you're susceptible to ganks. He's got 1300 health, the 500 magic block from the Flame Guard. He's not an easy target for this EG lineup that has got decent burst, but they have to commit so much that they can't really get him. And the Drum, of course, great for getting move speed for your Fire Remnant.
This could be good on bottom lane. Universe going to initiate the Fiend's group, however. Oh, there it goes. They have the damage, they have control, they take no risk whatsoever. Middle lane, however, PPD just trying to TP himself away to safety and just able to do so before the crush will reach him. So a 4-man gang from Vega, that's the first time the trade-off hasn't gone their way.
That was a really good TP out from PPD there. Clutch move.
That's easy.
Pasha, okay.
Yeah, gonna go for the Searing Chains, but now that your view's just done, Arteezy will just TP himself out even before the Ice Blast is able to connect. So you won't have to worry about going back to regen. In fact, instantly goes into the jungle to keep that farm up.
Sanj into, I'm guessing... is this Mask of Madness or is it Helm of the Dominator, or does it just keep it? I don't think this is a Mask of Madness game, to be honest. Not until he has a BKB anyway. He's just gonna die so quickly with the amplified part of the item.
A Helm of the Dom would make sense.
This allows him to jungle free of, without losing any health, of course. The access to the jungle is very important since the lanes are as scary as they are, so it might just be a casual mask that he doesn't upgrade.
It doesn't make much sense to build too heavily into lifesteal when you're going up against a hero like an Ancient Apparition.
That's another good point, yeah.
So it's
it's a good farming then.
Yeah, it's just that. It's purely farming. That's all you really need. Looks like Sumail, he starts off with the Yoga Club. Not certain if BKB really is his item of choice. Is there that much advantage to going for the straight Aghanim Scepter after you get your Yules?
It's a really tricky situation for him to be in, because on one hand, he kind of needs to do a lot of damage for his team, and Ags will of course be very nice for that. At the same time, he needs to stay alive to cast the spells, and there are so many counters. He can't necessarily rely on PPD to grave him every single fight if he gets jumped on. More than likely, they will need it for Sven in these fights. So I think this is a BKB from Sumail. I like the choice a lot because it once again shows that EG are aware they have to take fights.
Well, right now they dodged the perfect fight. Vega 5-man smoked, walked between the tier 1, tier 2 towers. They didn't get scouted out originally, but the Task Guard did walk a little bit too close to that tier 2 tower, hence his smoke broke. But they were trying to make the most out of the end of the nighttime phase. Ended up failing, which allowed Arteezy to get more space to farm on the top lane. Now he comes down for the triple stack of Ancients. Your Ice Blast will arrive, and Arteezy makes it a little bit more difficult. In fact, Ember Spirit jumping forward. Fear is still here with Fiend's Grip available. They'll jump forward. Is there a Nightmare control? No, there's not. In fact, Fear, he has to throw it over on Mag. We take it off from no one so they can get that crush out, and Fear will end up dying as well. But meanwhile, Sumail being initiated down inside the river. They're all over EG. Will Laguna Blade, you at least get the kill on the Ancient Apparition. The Universe started the attack of Vendetta, pulled out of it as he realized EG have already lost way too much, and now they're going to lose the Ancients as well. Pasha was taking a little bit too much damage from it.
I don't think they are. He doesn't have Battle Fear.
He can't clear it. He can't clear it. Like, he's trying with a sleight of fist.
This is very important, getting the stack if they can, but
just to deny it to this man, not even just to get it for themselves. They're taking so much damage, it's so risky to do this, because they still don't know where Universe is. Like, Universe never showed himself during the fight, so they have to be cautious and back it out.
Still exceptionally good timing from the Ancient Apparition, throwing the ultimate in and then reinforcing with Ember Spirit to secure the kill, and of course they got a 3-for-1 out of that, only losing their position 5.
That's the third scout he did of the Ancients too. Like, Vega were definitely keeping eyes on it. PPD, well, he's going to die here on the bottom lane, and it's all for naught, because he threw down the Observe Ward while he was still in vision of Vega. So it was instantly pinged out from no one. That Observe Ward went down, so it won't survive for much longer.
Well, then Seima should go and place this sentry. It doesn't look like he's aware.
The ping definitely came from no one. It was a purple ping. So at least one of the players of Vega is aware.
Seems like this ward is not worth my sentry. He wants to keep them all for Nyx.
Well,
it might have just been a ping onto the Dazzle, actually, and or did he ping straight?
No, he pinged right on top of the ward. They definitely know, because they pinged the fact that he dropped it. But it may not matter, as you said. Like, you take out the tier 1 tower on the bottom lane. If you're not planning on coming back here for 6 minutes, sure. Like, if you want to start adding aggression towards the top lane, EG have an Observe Ward, yeah, you get vision, but Vega in a position now where they can still just run at you. That BKB is done already for no one. We're under 20 minutes, he's already got the BKB. The Slider has a Blink Dagger now.
And remember, no one start, right? That's the...
the no CS.
They invested so much into shutting him down, and he's still second on the net worth ahead of the Lina now just because of these great fights. So Vega, I said EG needed a really good early game. The first 2 or 3 minutes for them were very good, but after that, the entire lead they built up was lost. And Vega in a lead right now is such a good position. Like, even if it was just 0 gold, I think their lineup just looks much scarier in this stage of the game.
Look how timid EG are. One Ice Blast came in. There was no one else from Vega anywhere near him because EG don't know this. They've only got those 2 observer wards watching around the bottom half of the map. But there was one Black Dragon, yet Arteezy still tried to pull it up to the shop area to get the farm on it, as opposed to putting himself in a risky position where Vega could initiate on him. Because they just don't know what's coming, and now they actually use Arteezy as bait. He war cries out, that snowball's coming in a very long way. TV is still here, but can they get the stun? No, they can't. The final fifth series chain on Universe, and Arteezy, and with the Sonic Wave, it hits so hard, Arteezy, we punch into the next Universe as EG back up to the tier 2 tower. Universe will barely escape on 150 life. Lucky not to be hit by that Ice Blast.
Solo is so good on Tusk. I'm really surprised EG let them have it in the second phase, especially considering what they were saying on the desk, that this is the only hero in the tournament that has 100% pick ban rate.
Yep.
Above heroes like, for example, Doom and Slardar, he has been prioritized more. This is a great showcasing of what the hero can do when played at the highest level.
It's kind of funny with a 53% win rate as well on that hero. But they'd let it go through, like a second phase kind of style. At EG, they wanted what they got. Well, actually, they didn't want what they got, but they have to deal with it anyway. That BKB is almost done for Samel. He's a recipe away. It's going to make such a big difference during the fight, but still, it almost feels like PPD on this Dazzle just can't do enough. And it's not his fault. Like, it's just the position he's in when his heroes get ice blasted all the time. And the Tuskar control from Solo kind of ensures that Ice Blast connects. Because it takes too long to get out of the radius of the blast area.
Realistically, EG can't win fights until they have BKB on Sven. It's very hard to see it. Even with the BKB on Sumail, such a big part of their damage output now that we come close to 25 minutes has to come from the Sven dealing physical damage. But he gets kited, he gets shut down entirely by this Tusk and Ember Spirit. I don't think I've seen Arteezy get a single swing off in a fight yet. I think he's either died or had to run against these heroes. He gets a Stormhammer off, that's been his contribution. That is not what you want your carry to do 21 minutes in, but it's just a very, very hard Sven game.
It really is. And it's becoming better and better for Vega. Like, Pasha now has his full Battle Fury completed. So the farm rate is going to, like, drastically increase with its Ember Spirit. He's burning TP scrolls a lot to move across this map, but that's because he traded off to get those treads as opposed to the BTs. So that's one upside for EG. The fact they're not getting split pressured all the time by this Ember Spirit. But you don't want to push out too far because you've got a Blink Dagger Slardar who's up at level 11, ready to fight you. The Tuskar is moving across the map, looking to gank everywhere, and he's just so confident. You've got a casual cloak, you've already got your urn, you've got a full mech on this Tuskar, and he's level 11 as well.
If this move is successful, they will be claiming a tower as well. This is a pretty important play for Vega, where they actually extend very far into enemy territory, and if EG are good at finding an angle here, oh, this Sigil is actually giving them all the info they need. But
it sees everything.
Very dangerous position.
The Observer Ward's about to time out. It's got 10 seconds left on that ward, and they just see fear. So, quick, easy pick off. Moves very quickly into the tier 2 tower, and now Arteezy, actually, he TP's down the bottom lane. They're just going to let this go, but he just used his TP, attacking towards that tier 1 tower in the bottom lane. If Vega understand this, they could potentially just go in for the tier 3. Like, it'll take a very long time for EG to get back in position.
It was interesting to see the chain of events that happened there. After they engaged on the Bane, BKB was immediately used by the Queen of Pain. So they thought EG would respond to that fight and that they were ready for the dive. Then when they didn't respond, they're like, wait, what's going on? So they immediately throw Ice Blast into the Roche pit, because that's like, okay, this has to be where EG are going instead if they're not even looking to protect this Bane in the mid lane, but they weren't there either. So EG essentially didn't really get much out of it. They did get the tier 1 though.
The blink stun With the mana burn as well, Samuel wants to follow up here, and there is really, Solo! He snowballs and dodges a light strike array of Samuel, but they've still got that nuke available. Solo will make himself up now, but he understands he is dead. But he at least wastes the time as well as the ultimate of EG. Meanwhile, up on top lane, Vega's taking out tier 1 towers. Keeping that pressure going.
This time this AO is going to hit.
Yep. EG really want to try and capitalize. It's a normal trade-off when you die side. You're happy to lose your tier 1 tower on top for Roshan. The buyback comes out from the Tuskar, and Mag walks as well with the Sonic Wave. He'll connect over on Samael, but Artesian and Samael, they survived through the initial crush. They survived through the BKB timing of no one. The crush will this time hit on Artesi, but that strength is still up. But do they have enough of it? Artesi finding no one in the tree lines with the stun. They've moved over to kill off that Sven. He can't stay alive long enough. Samael just needs to get out of here safely. Fear will allow that to happen. But he'll give his life for the cause. But EG, they keep giving up so much, and now Roshan should belong to Vega.
It really shows what kind of position Vega are in when they can win that fight with those whiffs. Like, they were totally off on the first crush. The Sonic Wave wasn't really impressive either, but EG just can't find a way to engage into them.
Do you really want to do? No, Universe isn't. He just realized too he's visible. He was inside Vendetta, and Vega had had 4 sentry walls placed across this mid, making sure that Nyx Assassin doesn't get the upper hand. Because that's what will allow EG to take the fights. You blow a couple of ultis, yet you still win the fight. That's probably even a worse sign for EG.
I still find it interesting that this game, 18-7, Vega just got Roshan. They've taken more towers than EG, and they're still only 4,000 gold ahead. So EG have been doing a really good job finding their farm, but the problem is it doesn't convert as well as Vegas does.
It was the space for Artesi. It's the space for Artesi. Like, he was farming up top lane. He was farming up inside the dark jungle the entire time. But you're right. Like, that BKB still doesn't exist.
His net worth isn't worth very much right now. That's the problem. The net worth on both Queen of Pain and Ember is way more useful until Artesi gets his BKB, at which point we can start talking about how close EG actually are to them. But right now it feels more like a 10k lead. If you're looking at the fights and the map control that Vega are managing to pull out of this, that's the weakness of the draft that the panel were talking about. It's you aren't this far behind in the game when you're that little behind on gold.
I'd also say Vega were burning a lot of money in consumables early on, and especially the warding effort they've done through observers and sentries. There's just no room for Universe to move. And he kind of has to. There's no jump in, there's no initiation from anyone else. Samael is a response kind of player with that Yule Scepter of his. So now EG, they have to come back. Like, you lose out the towers, and Vega, it takes 26 minutes and a half before they can come up, but they're already attacking into the tier 3 tower. And EG have to make the choice. Do they fight? They don't have the BKB and Artesi. They've got buyback available for him. And the jump from Universe, he misses the stun. The Slider Fist from Pasha dodges it, and now he Spirit commits over to Universe. The Spy Carrots keep him out, but the Sonic Wave finishes the job. The stun controls leaves there on Mag and Soul, but Samael defensively BKBs himself back to his fountain. Remember, Vega came here for an objective. They are being so good about this, not diving EG, not looking for the kills. They focus instead on the tier 3 tower, objective-based gaming. Artesi still back to front line. Slider Fist was used earlier on, but there's minimal damage to Pasha. Mag gets a jump in onto Artesi. No one with the control from Tuskar also arriving. They Shallow Grave on the Sven. Laguna Blake, can they kill off Solo in time? Artesi, he's losing too much for this. In fact, no one just commits in. They kill off Artesi. The Aegis Immortal is burned on the Ember Spirit, but really that's a minimal cost. You can go in, you can take out the tier 3 towers now. You'll start to lose armor after the weave does connect. As Mag, yeah, he'll get out. So EG lose their tier 3 tower, and Vega really not losing much at all. They gain everything.
I think they lost a gem on that Tusk, didn't they? Where is it? No, it's on AA. Okay, so they managed to transfer. I think I saw it on Tusk earlier, but they didn't lose the gem either. So very clean fight from Vega. I've got to say I've been very impressed with their play so far in this game. It's one of the best single performances from a team we've seen in the tournament, in my opinion. The only finger I can really put on anything was the spells they missed at the Roche Pit, and they still won that fight, and it didn't really matter much. Their decision-making is good, their rotations have been great, the draft is awesome as well, so Looking very, very solid so far.
I love the item choices too. Like, you look towards no one with that Queen of Pain. Actually starts with the BKB before going into the Orchid, understands that staying alive and strong during the fights was more important. And we have seen multiple times with Queen of Pains here in the Major where you kind of like, you get your Orchid and then it doesn't really do anything, so you wait until you know it's going to be worthwhile and also don't get trapped halfway through it. Oblivion Staff, one of the few items that you can actually purchase which don't give you a real, like, an ability of some kind.
And it is, of course, a great item to have in this game, in particular against the Bane. Now Bane more or less has to grip no one or find an opportunity where he's out of reach for that Orchid. The one hero he doesn't want to use it on is the Lina. Apart from that, it's basically just free choice. It's also great against Dazzle, so you can't Grave. That's perhaps the main reason he bought it, actually. Not against the Bane, but more against the Dazzle.
So they can ensure the kill and not
Yes.
just have to worry about that Sven standing an extra 3 or 4 seconds in a fight.
Oh.
No one. Actually can't reach up the PPD. Fear's down here as well. I think no one also understands. He's got no extra support. He just tries to creep wave down. Easy farm for him. Second highest net worth on the field. He's really, like, only just in front of this Lina, who... I don't know where someone else found the money, but he's almost finished this Aghanim Scepter. Like, you got Universe with maneuverability with his Blink 4 staff. So he's able to move across. He has spent more time running on this map than he has been fighting on this map. And he can't find anyone. Like, he ran up to the top lane before to try and find someone. Now he sees no one on the bottom lane. Steam is here. Solo's not too far away. And there's just not enough support for Universe to find this kill.
I think what Universe is hoping for right now is that Queen of Pain wants to walk in. Okay, never mind. It's the same logic as against Ember Spirit, is that you walk into the middle of the creep wave, you wait until she's about to use Scream, and then you Carapace in Vendetta, and then you can just suddenly turn on her. That's such a great counterplay that you can do on the Queen of Pain, but we haven't really seen them find any sort of opening of their own. Almost all of their kills are in response.
Well, they're now looking for one. They smoke up and then run backwards up to their shop because it's the Aghanim Scepter for Samal that came in. But when you've got a courier flying over the top of a Radiant Observer Ward like that, Vega understand that EG has to be moving around this area, and they're sitting on the high grounds. The Observer's planted, and Samal instantly BKB, expecting some kind of quick attack. University finds Steamer. They can take out the AA ulti, and this one RTZ also. That BKB will let him fight up against Solo. Mag jumping to the right. The Sonic Wave hits so hard. Universe and Fear will burn. As the male Laguna Blade, the damage will still kill off Mag. And it's just going for full-on trade-offs here. Arteezy looking for a fight, but Pasha has that steering change for control. This fight is splitting into 2 different parts, but the main part is Pasha. Arteezy with that gold string, ripping through him. It's a huge one too. Huge amounts of gold, but Samael still can't survive long enough, but maybe he can when Arteezy, no he can't. The Walrus Punch will flip him back up into the air. They try and disengage. Solo won't be so lucky. He actually does lose the gem to EG after all of this. But Arteezy, so many kills. He got 800 gold off one of those as well.
That was a really great fight for EG. The way they engaged from 2 different angles, so they caught the AA completely off guard. That was with Samael's initial stun actually missing, and they still just managed to find AA before Ice Blast ever came off. And that's been such a crucial part of the previous fights. It's denied Dazzle the ability to heal his teammates with the Shadow Wave, and of course guarantees the kill when Shallow Grave expires as well, as long as it lasts longer. And EG should be very happy with this. And it was the moment they had Arteezy's BKB. That's the big deal breaker here, is that he can actually participate, finally. It's got to feel pretty good after you've been useless for 30 minutes that you can go and hit stuff.
Might even have a crack up on top lane. Universe is just sitting behind. He wants more support, however. Fear is on his way. But no one's just leaving this lane. Very, very hot, so no opportunity for them. And the amount of money which got to EG, also the favorable nature of that fight. Like, it ended up splitting into 4 parts at one point. You just stun control over on one, then run over to find another kill elsewhere. And the fact that Arteezy was able to go from one side of the fight to the other and still do damage, the Vega's control was gone. The Tuskar came in, you said the BKB timing was right. So what do you really have? The shards, it didn't actually get a block on the stairwell, so Arteezy could move up and down. It was wonderful for him.
This will make a big difference in the upcoming fight, though. This pickup for Pasha, of course, means he doesn't have buyback now, so if they take a bad fight, EG can look for some serious collateral with either Roshan or, of course, some of these tier 2 towers that they've barely even poked.
Arteezy has Blink Dagger now. So the initiation will be there from Sven, all the repositioning during the fights, and Vlad's being picked up by Dazzle. Even going up against an Ancient Apparition, they're still looking for the buff.
Now EG have 0 wards on the map. So the last one they had just got countered out by Seema here with the sentry, and
surprised actually Vega commits so heavily to the obs and the sentries around Roshan, because they did still give the gem over. So EG could deward this quite easily.
It could be a bait here where you see they still have some heroes in the neighborhood and kind of want EG to try to contest. But EG are very, very cautious. And at the same time, they're just split pushing top. They know Roshan is not too far off, so as long as they split push the other lanes, they get a lot of information about... They know where EG is without seeing them right now. It's very clear. No one's farming mid, no one's farming top. I think EG also are aware of that fact and just go and push out because, like, what are they hiding for? They have nothing to gain, really, from just waiting there.
Yeah.
It's not like Vega are going to walk into them.
Oh, they can just walk into each other.
Yep.
Come to a pre-decided location to fight, aka Radiant Jungle.
Universe is going to be crucial in this fight. If he can find the opening they're looking for, they could take an incredible team fight and a Roshan with one play.
Surprisingly too, like where they're looking to fight, there's no sentry ward cleverly hidden by Vega. There's one over on the Ancient Apparition, and in fact now that ward does get placed down. They want Universe to walk into this alley of death. That's the Vega dream. Well, they still have another Observer and Sentry there. Blink forward, Universe blinks away in time, and that's easy. Blinks forward on top of Mag, triggers the BKB. That gives a little bit of time for Mag. It's just cleaved up pretty heavily. They don't find the damage, and no one! He bowls the wave, and now Patra also being controlled by the Fiend's Grip. It's a full duration Fiend's Grip, allowing RTZ to blink down. They take 2, and it's probably going to be, yep, it's an easy 3. With the Tuskar down for the count, Vega, they knew where it was coming, they prepared for where it was coming, they initiated it, and everything went wrong.
Alright, that's Caster's curse if I've ever seen it before. I praised them for playing such a great game and making no mistakes, and then they missed everything in that fight. Nothing landed. I don't think So the crush from Slara, that wasn't really a miss, that was more an incredible dodge by Universe, but the Sonic Wave was awful. They didn't really manage to connect with the Ice Blast the way they were looking for, and it's not gonna work out like that. I think EG just outmaneuvered them with the angles they initiated from. Again, the way to play against a lineup like Vegas is to come in from 2 or 3 different angles so they can't get that great Ice Blast and can't get the great Sonic Wave that they would be looking for. And no one has got to feel obviously pretty sad about that wave. It's one of those situations where you just have to go for it. And it is understandable that he misses it once again because there's no obvious one to try for. But it's just too expensive to miss an ability like that.
EG's just so split when it happens, and Universe also had the extra information because he had the vision of the Observer and Sentry sitting on that bottom hill and thought, okay, well they know where I am, and that meant he was already prepared because it wasn't just a double tap blink dagger back. He blinked to the east, he blinked away from Vega, so Universe was there baiting it out. And now he's going to start to build into the Aghanim Scepter. Items are really rolling in. Like, Vega had the Assault Cuirass even finished before that fight began over on no one. They meant to have all the advantages. And now you can look at Samel, who's got himself a casual plate mail up and running.
The game is pretty much even again in terms of golden XP, so it's hard to see any team getting close to ending this game anytime soon. Even with this Roshan take for EG, I think breaching high ground for them is going to be very, very difficult. The high ground defense from Vega is amazing. Ice shards are a great tool. It's annoying dealing with Sigil. Of course, the Queen of Pain having that massive AoE damage through Sonic Wave, and Ember always being able to harass them down. I still favor Vega in this game if they don't tilt, because they must know that they just lost a hell of a lot in this game, and they just need to keep their composure. And then I still think they're looking good, but EG definitely showing some signs of life here. It's like they just woke up.
Oh, they hit the mark. Universe. Oh, I always look to him to see how well EG's going to do. Like, you know how well Arteezy as well as Samel will be able to do, but Universe is always that hard roll. That jump hit initiator, that one which makes the play. In this case, it was the jump back, counter initiate. It works so damn well. What do we look for from Arteezy? Like, so Samael's got himself a plate mail. Is this one you think about going in for Shivas over on Samael and just get the full AC over on the Sven?
Yeah.
Or is there something better for the Sven? Like, do you look for the damage? Do you try and go in for that Daedalus kind of style?
I'm imagining Sumail could be considering Lotus Orb. It is a great item against both Slaughter and Ember Spirit, being able to remove the Amplify and the Change respectively, but he can also use his Yules defensively for that. And I think they need something bigger. So the Shiva's Guard is really good against a lineup that comes in close like Vegas does. And then AC on the Sven. Sure, why not? I think it's one of the best items he can get right now.
Well, Arteezy got the choice in front of him in a moment. For now, he's just sitting on the 4.2k. And EG focus on forcing the bottom lane as well as the middle lane in. PPD's actually prepping for the wards in mid. For the first time, really, we get to see EG aggressively warding across the map. They still have one defensive one sitting inside their own jungle, and that doesn't scout out the Ember Spirit moving in the Invis rune. It does now scout him actually TPing. And EG just want to get the hell, well, they wanted to get up to this top lane in time, but Vega's already away. No one's got TP off cooldown, but he's just sticking in the tree line for now.
PPD just TP'd into a nice blast. Not that it matters.
It's a hard life for him. It would matter more if no one actually blinks himself into the Dire base and they go for another Ice Blast and then he gets a solo kill, TP's out.
He could have killed PPD there, but it's too...
He was too far up.
High risk, low reward,
He
basically.
needs that secondary blink into the trees.
Oh, he wasn't
base.
in the position he's in right now? Because he could just blink down
but
bottom right.
The PPD was also in the lower part of the tower. He needed to be just a little closer to ensure it. But he's also got no vision inside the Dire base, so
it's way too risky of a play for a Dazzle.
Yeah.
It's not what you want to do right now.
But this Dazzle still is finding more and more farm. Casual Cloak, now with a Medallion of Courage, you could be building into that Solar Crest, making it even more difficult to hit into Arteezy. Universe finds an opening. He actually finds no one after the blink happened, but the shards from Solo actually pushes no one to the left side, making it so Universe couldn't go for the chase. There is that Assault Cuirass now fully purchased for the Sven. And no one's still hanging around. Samel just walks forward. Okay, the BKB blink up. He doesn't have TP available, so Orchid's on Samel. He needs 1 second till he can blink again. And the Yule's self-done on Samel. I don't know what he was worried about from no one, but...
I think he was trying to use it aggressively.
Pasha, bottom lane. EG, bottom lane. That's a heavy push coming in. EG weren't really ready for that. They were too busy chasing down the kills.
And it looks like Vega just got a lot out of that push, but remember the tower was already gone. So he did 400 damage on range barracks, which I don't think is the biggest of deals for EG.
No one.
But he forced a reaction.
That blink into the trees, this time instantly TPing himself away to safety. Universe can go for the blind stun, but it's already too late. No one did hang around a long time before, so it's worth Universe checking the corners up there. But back into this farm. It's like Vega have tried to just stop the momentum of this game.
I think they also have better late game. Like, that's another part of their draft that's great. So if they just slow the game down and find all this farm on their 3 cores. One of the EG cores is a Nyx Assassin. This hero is not that great late game. Of course, the new Aghanims is very great utility. But as far as dealing with these multiple BKBs that are coming out for Vega and all of the damage, he's just not as good as a Slardar.
At the same time, I've also seen Sven, even in a 70, 80-minute game, one swing take out almost an entire team if he gets that crit off.
Yeah, if he doesn't get kited or controlled. But there's still even things that annoy him through BKB. Yep. There's the chance that Slardar bashes him. There's the
Mag.
ultimate from Tusk.
Universe blinks forward, and actually Mag force-tasked himself away. The blink dagger's back off cooldown as well, but the mana burn putting it back down there. He's trying to save it so he can get to the trees. That's exactly what will happen. So blink, trees, TP out.
He's ice cold not using his BKB there. Well, it was the right read on the situation.
I think he also understood too, because Universe blinked forward and then went into Vendetta when he came into the Radiant jungle. So he knew that EG weren't really prepared for that kind of play. Pasha in middle lane. Yep, Arteezy's looking for the stun, but Slider Fist was there to attack the creep wave and then just straight spirits back. So Pasha dodges the gank. And Mag, well, he wants more. The Observer Ward, however, just planted down by PPD, scouts him out. Liking to this very cheeky Radiant Observer Ward just on the other side of the hillside. Gets really good vision, but not easily detectable when you're walking around with that gem.
I'm wondering what Pasha's going to get with this ultimate orb, if he goes for a Skadi or a Linken's. The Linken's has some pretty decent utility against, for example, Bane, if other abilities are used you can't grip. At the same time, the Skadi will help them kite Sven even more and just make him tankier. I think it probably is the Skadi here. It can't be a Manta, right? It's not good in this game.
Especially if you're thinking as Vega, what you were saying, that Vega have a better late game. At that point, you want to build for the late game. You don't want to build a mana style where you know you're going to have to get rid of it later on. So Scania makes a little bit more sense. I can understand the Lincoln Sphere, however. And that's only if you really want to try and keep that fight being forced. Okay, so everyone's backing out. Looks like Slaughter is now the man tasked with building into the Vlads. A late one for him. Yep. Queen of Pain is looking for the disable through the... Well, then you actually have to ask the question again, is this meant to be a side device for Queen of Pain, or is this meant to be a Lincoln Sphere?
The Lincoln's is great because he has BKB, because then he either blocks Fiend's Grip or Laguna Blade. That is really, really good. But at the same time, it's probably too defensive of a build. The Hex just gives a lot of utility. Of course, there's a secondary counter to the Bane if the Fiend's Grip is on Pasha, like it was last fight.
Pasha finished the full Scotty, by the way. So it's flying out in this courier at the moment.
No buyback gaming.
I think they realized too that courier flying up to the up to their secret shop isn't the greatest idea while it's still got the full Scotty on it. Now it can go do its shopping. Universe is back on the hunt.
He's still level 15 only. But
He's spent most of his time running around looking for the kills, not sitting in the lane farming up. That's why he's also been close to his Aghanim Scepter for the last 10-15 minutes.
When was the last kill of the game? The last kill of the game is actually 10 minutes ago. More than 10 minutes ago, I think. Or? No,
when Lina killed the Tusker.
So that would mean that it's not long until Roshan is up again, because that's what allowed EG to take the Roshan in the first place.
That's why Vega were waiting. They were waiting for the Aegis to time out.
Yep. Oh.
Universe. Okay, he sees Courier. But there's nothing on it, so there's not much point him risking his life for it all. They see the Radiant Sentry, and they still don't see this OBS. They get rid of the Sentry, but this OBS has gone through a full duration now.
It's been really, really useful. Vega are doing a good job at warding in general in this game. I feel like they've had very good map control. Even after they lost that fight, they still didn't get caught out simply because of their ability to read the map, and just these couple of wards that they have given them a lot of information.
It's also the fact that Tier 3 tower was being attacked and no one from EG was defending it. This lets them know so much of where EG is going. Sigil chasing after couriers. They try and see everything possible. That courier, I think, has actually given away more information about where EG is moving than EG themselves.
Yeah, it's true. Mag did complete his Vladimir's offering now, so I like the priority that both teams are giving this item in this game. It's such an important game to have a lot of armor in for both teams. PPD got it as his first major item. He got it before the medallion on this Dazzle, but he's actually starting to get some decent items up in the Dazzle this game. And Mag, of course, getting it over the Kyrios because they already have it on Queen of Pain, else that would be the go-to item for the Slaughter.
And Dota 2 really wants this game to drag out a little bit longer. It's the maximum spawn time for Roshan. The teams have
exactly 11 minutes.
That's yep. That's the full 3 minutes, or the maximum 11 minutes they have to wait between them. And they're weaving. They're throwing out sigils. They're like, okay, someone's gonna be around this Roche pit. And that's it. Both teams are looking at this. And Arteezy, he actually bought something. He bought a Crystallis. It's gonna be the Daedalus build for this Ven.
Yeah, it's the right choice too, I think. There's the Hex for Queen of Pain. I mean, Vega have managed to get all the key items they should need for this up-and-coming Roche fight. They really have everything.
Yep. Oh, blink in. They're going to go for the Storm Bolt. BKB up from no one. Arteezy didn't get his off in time. They forced off him out of the Ice Plant. It hits on no one at the end of the day, and now they double BKB up. Arteezy, who do you want? Parhor, Solar's going to jump himself in, protecting himself inside that snowball. Still, no one dead just yet, but Solar's on the wrong side of the river. Laguna play for the next touch. It's just in time. PPD has to self-grave and get himself the hell out of here. He won't be able to do though. He's locked in by the cold feet. The Shans made it so he couldn't run away. And this is going to be only a one-hero loss after almost every BKB was popped, almost every ulti was triggered. And now Vega believe they can go in for Roshan.
There's a great play from Vega all around there. Great movement pattern, and of course the Force Staff saving Arteezy just as good for EG, but when Arteezy blinks in and uses his Stormhammer to try to initiate, he has to commit BKB afterwards. So he's trading his BKB for the one of, who was it, he jumped on the Queen of Pain, I think? It's good enough for Vega. They just need to wait out the BKB of the Sven, and then he loses all of his power in these fights, and ultimately they do have to disengage again.
Vega are going to try and force the issue now. This is when you start looking towards those buybacks over on EG, which belong to both Fear as well as Arteezy. The Ember Spirit's got an extra one, so technically you can have 3 Embers in this fight. Universe, so much damage so early on. The Nightmare from Fear will buy him space as he 4 thumbs up with the Ice Blast connects. Mag, however, way too deep under the tier 4 towers. The Fiend Strip goes off and keeps him in position, so Arteezy cleans through the creep wave as well as the Slaughter. You lose the Queen of Pain at the same time, so Mel's making the best out of that one, and Seema, they can see him and they stun him as well. They'll find the kill, they regather the gem, and they hold on to the bottom racks. EG refusing to give this to Vega, even with an Aegis and Cheese advantage. Both were not used.
Look where Queen of Pain died. That's...
Yeah, I don't know what you're diving for.
I feel like Vega were actually in a great position to just slow siege this, and whenever... Like, when they got the kill on the Dazzle, that was perfect, and they should have just played off of that. But instead, they overextended quite a bit there, got a little bit bloodthirsty. You see that the cheese wasn't used, like you said, so he must have been surprised by a Laguna Blade. And of course, the 1,000 or 850 burst damage from that is pretty scary for the Queen.
He may not have also been ready for Universe to come back into that fight straight away, because Universe bought back during the fight, which puts him in the perfect position. Now, EG trying to force... Be it buybacks, Arteezy doesn't have God Strength, but he beats into the tier 3 tower, gets the fortification out. The mid tier 2 tower is going to die to a double catapult wave. In fact, this is the perfect time for EG to win a fight. You've got 4 catapults attacking, 2 through the mid, 2 through the bottom, and now God Strength off cooldown in 3 seconds. You're still 12 seconds away from having all 5 up for Vega. Ice Blast dodged again. You will have to chill over an Arteezy. He's from Canada, he's used to this. As the tier 3 tower will drop. Fear, Corp, Searing Chains and Cold Feet, the perfect combo. They drop the Sentry Ward too, so they understand the Fear will die. This time EG cuts their losses and gets out, but PPD caught by Mag with a blink forward. They are able to get the control on him. So 2 heroes lost for EG, only PPD with the buyback, however. But EG already got what they came for.
It's 2 supports for tier 3. I think this is okay for EG, knowing that they're... If you look at where the waves are right now, they've pushed out mid very nicely. The top lane already given momentum by Sumail. So I don't think Vega can even reach the barracks bottom before these 2 heroes respawn.
EG, the patience has to be there. 50 minutes into this game, Vega, they felt so close to winning this game for so long. Yeah, there's been a couple of hiccups on the way. Yeah, they lost about 7k worth of net worth at one point. But you still have the Aegis the Immortal for another 2 minutes. You've still got that potential with the cheese to take this bottom racks. But the fortification will actually buy enough time. Like that tier 2 tower is taking some damage. Only a little bit of chip. But EG haven't shown themselves for a lot.
Back with 14 seconds left on his death timer.
Okay, they really want to try and fight this. They must want to have that weave up early. Arteezy blinks forward. Where's that BKB? Again, not being triggered early on. The Ice Blast will connect on Sumail. He's got Laguna Blade attacks into Mag instead. Arteezy will mop up the Queen of Pain. Almost 2 hitting down Seema. He will get the double kill. They're taking range direct for the Stormbolt goes again. Pasha, the control from Sumail doing the work. The Aegis, it does pop. The Nightmare's over on Mag, so he can't help out his core with the Yule Scepter. Ember Spirit up, back down again. Spider Fist dodging. There was no stun to connect. They're trying to bail back out of here. Solo running down low. The jump forward, Pasha can't dodge it, but Mag with the double crush. Pasha still locked here for the moment. Spider Fist kills off the Nix's ass, and they're all too close. Hence that cleave able to come in and play affecting. The Sumail and Arteezy, do you really want this? The blink card. Arteezy still not bailing out of here. He's got life, but is it going to be enough? Going for the cleave, but he's controlled too long. Arteezy's down. Buyback is available. 95 seconds is his other option. Staying dead, but he'll buy back. They do not want to lose this melee racks, and Vega will take that as a victory. But can they get out? That blink crush barely missing.
Ice cold from Fear. Oh, look at Gem. And then he... That was quarter-second blink right there before he got crushed from Mag. Incredible heads-up play from Pasha there. I think losing the Aegis there, a lot of players would lose control of what's happening, but he perfectly prepared for how his escape plan was going to be during those 3 seconds of death while he was respawning.
He almost seemed to have a little bit more time when Sumail Yule scepted him up. Like, he had time to think about where he was going to go. And also, EG, because they blew their own Light Strike array multiple times. That's also the second time that Arteezy has blinked himself in without triggering BKB and getting hexed as a result of it.
And now Vega, they want... They want more. If they find a kill on Sumail or Arteezy, the game is more or less over. These 2 cores for EG are way too important right now, and they have so long cooldown on their buybacks that with any sort of aggressive play from Vega,
They see
being successful
Arteezy.
here is...
The observe ward on the hillside, they're going to see PPD too far away. There's that blink hex, Arteezy caught out, Fear, the Nightmare actually finds Arteezy's face, goes for the big AC Stormbolt, he's got the claim, wiping Vega away! I'll go for more! AA will die as well, a triple kill for Artur, and Mag trying to run away, the Weave gave him a little extra vision, the Dire Observer was down too, they're TPing into the lane, it's Samal with the BTs, found the creep wave, can't get the stun, Mag will try and crush him out of here, Fear still too far away, 1 second till Blink, he'll bring him in range with the Fiend's Grip, but Mag's Blink also coming back off cooldown, he'll get a wave and Vega lose 4.
What a perfect defensive nightmare that was from Fear. He's in the right place at the right time. It was very clear that EG wanted Vega to engage on Arteezy, but I think they got a better deal than what they came for. This nightmare dodged, I think, what was it? It dodged a crush and, I believe, a slight chains. Both of them missed during the invulnerability timing, and EG were just allowed to turn around and have a very, very good fight there. This is 2 lanes of racks, actually. No buybacks on Vega. It's almost game.
The only one they've got is Slander, and Universe is perfectly positioned to make sure he cannot be involved in anything, any level of harassment. So bottom racks is gone, Samel's taking care of mid and EG. They're all behind by so much. And now they're getting back into it. The Ice Blast will probably make them fall out. You've taken out your mid racks melee, you've taken out a full bottom racks as well, and you do this when it was Vega. Vega were the first ones to take out that tier 3 tower, the first ones to really add some assaulting pressure, and all they've got is the ranged racks on bottom as their creep wave advantage.
And now Arteezy with a Satanic. He's not gonna die unless he's Ice Blasted. I don't think Vega can cut through his 50 armor and 3,000 health that he has now, so he will be able to use the active on the Satanic and just lifesteal it all back. So the way Vega need to take fights now is that they have to play the kiting game as they have decently before, but going on Arteezy is not the way they want to initiate the fights, and it's exactly what EG has set up before now, and they should have learned their lesson at this point.
And you actually see them trying to do that kiting game. Like, this may be a Shiva's Guard coming over on solo, but I'm looking at a Rod of Atos build coming in from Seema. So he's going to be that man that's tasked with keeping Arteezy when that BKB is down away from the fight. What is Mag actually? Because they've already got the Assault Cuirass. Is Mag now looking to go in for something more like a Maelstrom? Into a Mjolnir? Like, what else is this Hyperstone for? You could be looking for the Bash with maybe Moonshot.
Moonshot. I think Moonshot is better than Mjolnir right now, to be honest. Just get a lot of attack speed, lock in on Arteezy, and try to get a Bash. When you hit twice a second, it's very likely, obviously, that you do land one of those bashes.
Unless Vega are thinking this just turns into a split push game. Make the most out of the BT Ember. Get him to jump across the map, keep the lanes pressured out, and...
I don't really think he needs a Mjolnir for that. He one-shots the wave with Slip Fist anyway.
Yeah. I mean the Slaughter to get that.
Oh, the Slaughter himself. No, but you were saying he puts the static thing onto Ember, right? As he's split pushing.
Yeah. Or you just have the lightning bounce. Anything to push the wave back out again. Because you are going up against like 1.5 waves of super creeps.
It's a 1 hour game. It's not that big of a problem for Vega at this point. Both Queen of Pain and Ember can very quickly push out these waves. I guess we'll have our answer soon. Mac could buy it right now if he wanted to, but he's saving for buyback.
Roshan.
This is probably the game-deciding fight if there's a fight around this pit, because both teams without key buybacks, I do think, or EG getting theirs again.
You've got
1 minute on
buybacks
Sumail, 2 minutes on Arteezy.
Yeah. And still 1 minute left on PPD as well.
I mean, Vega could have theirs, but they're buying up all the time. They only have one, or actually Ember is very little gold away. I think he just secured it there. Yep, he did. That's a big deal. Him being able to re-engage with a Fire Remnant.
Know that EG, they've known that Roshan's been up. They noticed it instantly because they've been using their Dire Courier as just a way to look, and Universe is already going to burrow. So this is the ultimate camper around Roshan. Leave the Nyx Assassin here. And they wait for Vega to go in, because if EG start this, they can just lose this entire game. I think they understand that fact too. They need to be the ones to counter into Roshan. So we may just have ourselves a bit of a Mexican standoff on the bottom lane.
Way superior vision for EG in this area though right now. They're just waiting for the mid lane to push out, I think. They know, okay, if we wait long enough, Vega has to come back, but of course Ember Spirit is a little bit of a joker in that regard, can of course just rejoin bottom. So EG not getting too much out of this. If they would have played a trick here on Vega with maybe Nyx and Sven going mid, they could have found Ember, because it's very clear that Pasha will TP back for this, but it's such a difficult play to make, and I don't even know if they had a smoke for it.
They're ganking the Remnant.
They have one here.
They're ganking the Remnant on bottom. They want him to move forward. Sumail, okay, finally shows himself with the Light Strike array as well as Slave. But Universe's position, he's perfectly positioned that he can impale anywhere inside Roshan. That's not the greatest start RTs. He blinked into Roshan, instantly gets fast. But he'll try and do this solo. And Vega, yeah, they're fully aware.
Great defensive weave as well. Set up. Good preparation timing here.
He's got so much armor.
And we need to keep an eye out for Sumail's Hex. I think it's the key item that they have right now, because Pasha does not have a defensive item. Yes, he went for the Skadi, and of course he's decently tanky, but you saw Sven very quickly killing off key targets for Vega, so I think Pasha at this point should actually sell his drum for a BKB. A 10-second BKB now would be incredible against EG's lineup. I actually don't think they could kill him then, without Fiend's Grip.
He really does need it too, because he's a glass cannon. Maybe a little bit more like two-plate class with that Skadi on him, but still, there's not a lot to work with here in Arteezy. Well, he's trapped inside the pit through the shards, just keeping Roshan company, trying to keep the Sigil out. And this is the standoff we're expecting, but EG are okay with this. Vega have to keep sending Pasha back to keep the creep wave pushed out. And is EG actually getting a little... Okay, Sumail gonna BKB. Expected some level of engagement on him after he gets shard blocked.
It was a 5-second BKB, it doesn't matter.
No. Vega just
unless
went
if they
ready.
fight now.
Yeah.
Is that enough to trigger this? There's no way. They're baiting EG into
It's
this.
so risky. If you go in, you get weaved like this. You got 3 heroes weaved up, losing armor, and Sumail wants to make the most of it. Jump forward, Universe. He is going to get the one hex up, but Sumail controls for the moment. Arteezy in the middle of the fight. It's going to be leading to find the kill. The Snowball trying to give a little bit of protection in for solo, but Arteezy currently locked mag. Fear is doing it from inside the pit by keeping that Fiend's Grip up. Now even no one's in trouble. They nightmare over on a couple of us down the bottom river where Arteezy grabs himself a triple kill. The cleave goes to work, and Steamer, can he TP out in time? Barely. But you got no Ember Spirit for 2 minutes. He bought back to rejoin that fight. That's a full diveback in EG. Why go Roshan? They're coming for the GG push. They want game 1. In fact, GG well played. Vega will just call it. They understand they have been defeated in just over an hour by evil geniuses.
I think Pasha should have, in this situation, probably considered a BKB over his buyback. Again, it was Sumail's Hex that decided that fight. They found the opening that they were looking for, and EG do take it. I think it's very impressive, considering how big a lead Vega built, that they